Morning, Chris.
It's like you're waiting for me. How are you?
Welcome
Hey,
on
lovely
board.
to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, you too.
G'day.
Today, Chris is helping Ian and Christine, along with 2 other crews, collect important data from the area's native green turtle population.
Come on board and let's get kitted up.
All right.
Turtles are a magical species. You know, they've been around for billions of years, and they also tell us a story about what's happening in the reef. Being able to protect their habitat and them into the future is really important.
What we're looking at is how coastal pollutants are affecting turtle health. Everything that's accumulating in here into this ocean, turtles and wildlife are feeding off that, and we want to work out what is happening to those turtles and the greater ecosystem.
So how do we actually find the turtles out here?
So the way that we do it is we actually look from the front of the boat and stand actually up on the bow.
But once we actually see them, how do we then get them?
So the rodeo technique's been used for decades, and
The rodeo technique?
rodeo technique. On the skipper's call, you're actually going to launch out off the boat while the boat is still going, and you've got to try and get in front of it, catch its carapace, its shell, particularly behind the back of the neck.
Yep.
Get a good handhold on it and bring it up to the surface.
Wow. When Christine first mentioned a rodeo, honestly, I thought she was joking, but this is serious. The timing of my dive has to be absolutely perfect, and my cowboy skills have to be up to scratch. Otherwise, I could very easily lose some of these.
Yep. Right there, right there.
It's like the scene line.
Ready when you are.
All of a sudden, the call comes through from Ian. There's a turtle, and we are go.
Now.
Got it. Well done. Wow. Amazing technique. That is incredible.
This one, just lift straight.
As expected, the first catch of the day goes to Christine. The bar has now been set.
This is a really, a fat,
Yeah, it is.
happy little turtle.
You're looking good, buddy. Hey, you're actually in pretty good nick. You didn't expect that, though, didn't you?
Everything's suddenly become very clear as to why this is a turtle rodeo.
Absolutely.
That's dramatic, isn't it?
It is. Are you keen to give it a go?
I think so, yeah.
Excellent.
I've seen Christine do her thing, and she does it well.
12 o'clock. Right there, right there.
So now the pressure's on me to deliver similar results.
Hang on.
It's 2-0.
It's on. Game on.
The strategy, as Chris tells me, is to jump down a little bit ahead of the turtle. By doing that, by the time you actually hit the water, the turtle's caught up to your hands and it should appear magically in your grasp.
It stopped. Went out the back.
So it turns out the champion turtle catcher is fallible after all. This makes me feel better that you missed one.
So you're up.
I believe so, yeah.
Excellent.
So now it's time for me to earn my stripes. Only problem is, there's no turtles.
We went through a little bit of a hot spot here, so yeah, we've got 2 on board and we chased another couple and...
Right in front, right in front.
Hang on a second, gotta go. Hang on. It's gone left, Chris, it's cut left underneath. There it is, gone right. There.
The speed these turtles generate is something else. Plus they have an extra thing we don't really have. That's agility.
Just down in front there, Chris. Just going left a bit, going in front of the boat. Don't go, don't go, don't go.
We're weaving trying to match the movements of the turtle and hopefully position ourselves just behind and to the left of this moving animal.
Now.
The call comes from Ian, go. I leap out, hoping my arms are going to reach down and grab the turtle. Unfortunately, it's not to be. Beginner's luck, that's not happening today. I just don't think I jumped far enough ahead. I think I was kind of on top of it, and by the time it was underneath me, it was already in front of me, you know, it was...
And I think it actually turned
and Dad's you jumped as well, so it took a bit of a turn.
Took a turn for the worst, and you didn't have your feet together.
We're being harsh, aren't we?
I'd have given it a 3.
3 out of 10. I thought when I got back in the boat there'd be consoling pats on the back, everyone saying, come on mate, you'll be right, you'll get it next time. No, that's not exactly how it works around here.
All right, you're up again.
There's one way to make up for it, isn't there? Tough school here.
Yes.
Yep. I've learned a lot from the first miss, so now it's time to change a few things and go back for round number 2. I'm in the water, my hands are grasping out, but it is a miss. The boat, they don't even hang around. They're off.
When you're ready.
Ian's decided he's going to catch this turtle. Annoyingly, Ian, who I thought was just the boat driver, also catches turtles. Better than I do. I touched it then.
Well, that's good, so you get the pass.
Again, just wasn't far enough ahead of it.
Is it easy to catch a turtle? I don't think so. I think many people have tried and think that it's going to be an easy thing to do, but no, it's not. It's actually quite challenging.
Wow, that's bigger.
Yeah, so this is a real target one for us because this one would have now been in this foraging ground for somewhere between 15 and 25 years, accumulating what is entering the environment, what people are putting down their sinks, what people are putting on their gardens, all ends up in the ocean eventually. We've got 6 out of 7 species of marine turtles in our backyard, and the majority of them are in decline. I think that's a cause for concern, and I think we really need to be mindful about what we do as humans and how we impact not only turtles but all wildlife.
Okay, good
You're
work,
up.
team.
There's still one issue.
There is.
The fact I'm wet and don't have a turtle. The simple fact is we have to get in and grab these turtles as quickly as possible. The tide's dropping and time is running out. So I just go straight back to the bow of the boat and get into the jump position.
Oh, there it is.
Where?
It's going pretty slow.
Got it. Ready?
Now I can feel the pressure building. It's a mixture of adrenaline and stress. I have to make the next jump, otherwise I've officially let the team down.
I'll bring you in a bit more and go.
Let's be honest, the dive wasn't exactly graceful, but all that matters is there was a turtle in my hands. I got one, and that's a start. Third time's a charm. Thank you. With one now under my belt, I go back to the front of the boat with a bit more confidence.
Right there, right there.
Again, the call comes, and we're off.
There it is. Right there, right there. Hang on, hang on, hang on. That's going to be a handful, Chris. It's a big boy.
Right.
Ready? Yep. Go.
This turtle is much bigger than the last one I dealt with, so just slowing him down is an effort.
Got to get it vertical. That's it.
Getting him vertical feels impossible. Thankfully, after a lot of struggling, I get his head out of the water, and amazingly, that struggling stops. Oh, wow. That's a big turtle.
The front third of them are just pectoral muscle and they're just in their element.
Yeah, that was a real rodeo, a real wrestle. Battle of wills. In the past, every encounter I've had with turtles has been kind of gentle, from a distance, and you get to really admire their beauty and their tranquility. Here, it is splash and it is dash.
Over the top of it. Now.
Oh, nice catch. That was a very nice catch.
I feel like I'm suddenly getting the hang of this. I jump in and now it feels natural to feel turtle shell and feel it firmly.
That's a nice fat turtle.
Yeah, it is.
Feeding well.
You're in decent shape, aren't you? While I'm now more relaxed, we've got a decent number of turtles. Now comes the tricky part. We've got to get these turtles up onto the beach and work out exactly what each of them is facing.
This one has a fishing hook snagged in its flipper.
Wow.
He has been caught before, but by fishing line. Alright, I might get my kit. See if we can get that out straight away.
I knew when I arrived here today that these guys are on the front line when it comes to encountering turtles that are really doing it tough. This girl here is living proof of that. If pollution in the environment weren't a big enough hurdle, now this turtle has had to deal with fishing gear.
You've never seen a vet before, have you? I guarantee that. So it's fairly recent. I mean, there's not a lot of corrosion on the hook. I guess you just pop out. There we go. Simple as that.
You can imagine what that would do if it actually was caught in their mouth and they ingested that and down into their crop.
Yep, well, that is certainly better out than in. Right, that's all done. That'll heal up all by itself. So now we need blood tests, measurements, and a weight.
That's right, and a tag so we can identify again in the future. It's important we get as many numbers as we can, especially for the population dynamics.
Precisely 100 centimetres. I think she's ready for the tag.
Excellent. Just going to feel a little flinch.
Yep.
That's it. That's a good tag. We're in.
Now that she's tagged, each and every time she's caught in the future, we know exactly who she is and really how she's doing. Importantly also, we then know whether the environment is changing.
So that's 102.
So while she's up like this, is it a good time to take the blood test?
Absolutely. There you go.
What happens to these samples after they're taken is actually quite interesting. Some of them go to Florida, some of them end up at the University of Queensland. But the whole idea is to build up a picture of their own individual health, but also they'll be able to analyse whether there are any toxins in the blood and where they're coming from.
Oh, she goes international, doesn't she?
She does go international. Green turtles are a really great indicator of ecosystem health, and so that's why they're so important to this study. Not only because they're endangered at a global scale, but they're able to tell us, like a canary in the coal mine, what's actually happening in our environment.
How you going there? What is it?
This is 73.5 centimetres.
Okay.
But the interesting thing about this is it's our recapture turtle. So that's great. These are the guys that give us growth rates.
So I guess the exciting part for you guys is being able to bleed her again now and get another test done.
Absolutely. Now we can run those samples again and see what changes there were in her chemical load.
Yep.
Ready? 1, 2.
That'll do.
I was proud of catching this one, but now I'm wishing it was a bit smaller.
Last but certainly not least is Chris's monster catch.
I knew the moment my hands touched him out in the ocean that he was a big boy, but probably didn't really realise just how big. 147.5 kilograms.
47.5.
1.5 times my weight.
At nearly 150 kilos, that makes this boy anywhere between 30 and 50 years of age. In that time, it's scary to think how many cyclones, how many boats he's had to dodge. But just to actually be up close to a turtle this age, it's extraordinary.
Okay, yep.
Thank you.
Fast-moving boats, wild weather and fishhooks aren't the only obstacles sea turtles have to deal with.
There's been 200 years of industrialisation, of coastal development, pollution, runoff, human habitation, and it's really important to understand that what you put down your sink, what you put on your garden and what washes off from your land ends up here and ends up in our marine wildlife like turtles.
Some good news, buddy. The time with us is done.
After taking measurements and blood samples, it's time to start releasing the turtle.
See you next time.
See you, buddy. Oh, he's in a hurry.
It was a fantastic day. Look, we got all the turtles we needed, some recaptures, and the recapture was the most important one, so that was fantastic to get that one. One last push.
While I face my own challenges today, they're really nothing compared to what these turtles face each and every day out in the wild. Hopefully this testing we've done today and all these samples will make a massive difference to turtles all around the world.
That's what you want to see, isn't it? Leave the beach strong and swim right happy.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful scene.
Back home.
Hugo is one of our Galapagos tortoises. He is a crowd favourite. Everyone comes to see Hugo. We absolutely adore him. Look at you, beautiful.
But this morning, it seems the 73-year-old has had a misadventure.
Oh, what did you do to yourself, buddy? Oh, mate. Have a look under there.
It's quite bad, isn't it?
So sore. It's like a massive
it looks bad.
crack down the middle. His whole shell was cracked and it looks really, really terrible. What do you think he's done it on?
He's probably, since Estrella's not in here, maybe it's one of the rocks in the exhibit.
He has been rubbing himself on the rocks since Estrella arrived, so maybe he's just super frustrated.
Yeah, he must be.
Hugo is 73 and he's never had a female, he's never had a mate, so it was my mission to find one for him. Estrella arrived at the reptile park after 3 long years of waiting for her.
But Hugo was out of luck. Estrella isn't so keen on being courted by the 73-year-old Hugo.
Estrella's just a little bit too young for the whole breeding cycle at the moment. So she's just starting to produce follicles, but she's a bit small for Hugo. So we've put bollards in to make sure we can keep them separate so Hugo doesn't actually hurt her. Must be a bit frustrated, hey buddy? Can you just hold up some food so we can have a better look?
Yep, no worries. Come on, Hughes, you come.
I think what's happened is because of his frustrations with Estrella being next door and he's unable to access her, he's actually mating with the rocks inside of his enclosure. Because I guess they look like a tortoise and he's actually cracked his shell. It's very sore and I'm very worried about the infection that could possibly get in there. We'll have to call Robin.
Yeah, for sure.
Get her here immediately.
Yeah, sounds good.
We don't want to muck around with Hugo and an infection getting into his body, so we have to call our vet, Robin, and get her here immediately so we can sort him out good and proper. Oh, buddy, what have you done?
At the Australian Reptile Park, Vet Robin has been urgently called to check out injuries on the park's oldest resident, Galapagos tortoise Hugo.
Good, thanks. What's he done?
So I looked under his shell and couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
He's cracked it and it's bleeding.
Oh no.
Yeah, it looks really sore.
Oh yeah, that does not look good. You've done a good job on it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we think he's rubbed it on a rock. He's very frustrated since Estrella came, so we think that constant rubbing, he's cracked that shell.
So the plastron is a very sensitive part of the shell, and they actually have nerve endings. So the fact that he has a wound there is going to be very annoying to him. It's a big hole under there. So there's a lot of flaking shell, and there's some raw tissue. So there's a lot of surface area that bacteria can get in.
Definitely needs to be cleaned up and taken this off and covered up.
And because it contacts the ground, it can get an infection. And that infection can then get systemic and make him very ill. So we have to jump on it pretty quick and make sure that we get it healed. Hugo's very special. We definitely have to make sure that it doesn't get infected. And it's a very difficult spot, being that it's underneath.
Yeah.
And he's going to be sitting on it, and it's hard to keep him out of the dirt.
Yeah.
So it's very possible it's going to get infected. So for now, I think we'll get you to put a bandage on it, and then we'll come up with something that's a little more permanent, because we can't leave a bandage on all the time.
Yeah.
Because bandage long term is not good for his shell.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to keep something like that on him all the time.
Okay.
He's still going to want to rub. That's going to be part of the problem.
Yeah. We need to protect him.
Yes.
We'll fix you up. We love you.
But manoeuvring a 200-kilogram tortoise to fix his shell is going to be a massive challenge.
I'm not sure how we're going to be able to treat this and make sure that we get it to heal. It's in a really tricky spot, so we'll have to put our heads together and come up with a plan.
So I'll hold him up and you guys wrap him. It's all right, buddy. Robin is concerned about the infection, so the most important part right now is to cover that up and make sure that it can't get dirt in it. It's all right, buddy. We're going to look after you. We are going to put a little plywood board there to protect that shell underneath, so that if he does go visit the rocks again, that his shell is protected. How's it looking, Sam?
It's pretty raw under there. It's quite red, to be honest.
It's not something that's often done, especially in something as large as Hugo. So the fact that he's 187 kilos and it's underneath him, you really don't have a lot of access. So we're going to have to figure out a way to lift him off the ground and get access without endangering him or us that are working underneath him.
Only the best for Hugo. It's all right, buddy. Love you, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
At the Australian Reptile Park, there's excitement in the tortoise enclosure. The team has come up with an ambitious plan to replace the temporary bandage on Hugo's cracked shell with a more permanent solution.
Hugo is 187 kilos and his wound is right underneath. We have to lift him off the ground, which is a massive deal. So we're calling in the big guns.
Hugo's Speedy Gonzales today.
Yeah, nice and early for a walk in the morning. I have no idea how Hugo's going to react in this situation. He has to be hoisted up off the ground, and a tortoise doesn't leave the ground. Gonna get you up on there? Everyone has their little job that they're doing, but my sole job is to make sure that Hugo's okay. So I'll be checking on him, making sure everything's going smoothly and that Hugo is happy and healthy. All right, ready to go?
First, the team needs to securely strap Hugo so that he can be safely hoisted by the excavator.
So yeah, like one back there, and then somehow do one this other way. And we can still put a towel underneath there to stabilize it. Keep threading.
We're trying all different things with these straps. We've got all the right equipment, but we're just trying to figure out how it fits.
Okay, so do we want to try going the other way?
I think we're going to have to. Yep. As long as we can just avoid where we need to put the brackets.
Yep.
As soon as Hugo's massive body is lifted, Robin will be working directly underneath to secure a special protective cast.
Okay, up. Good. Okay, hold on one sec. Wait.
Yep, hold it.
Oh, wait. So ideally we'd have something like a car lift at a mechanic shop so we could get under safely. Okay, we're gonna have to do something different. We're gonna have to cross it.
Go down.
Brendan, go down. So it's a bit scary to have that amount of weight over your head. Yeah, it was starting to unroll, Brendan. So I think if we do it so that it's strapping itself.
I'm really nervous. Hugo means so much to us and he's never been off the ground before. So I actually feel a little bit sick to my stomach.
No skin here, no skin on that side. Please don't fall on me.
Let's go.
Shortly. Just pull some of this stuff off the edge since he likes to rub. Oh!
That's not going to do it again, is it?
Please tell me no.
At the Australian Reptile Park, tensions are high as vet Robin, keeper Hayley and the team begin urgent repairs on 200-kilo tortoise Hugo's cracked shell.
Everybody okay? Not pressure on any of his soft tissue? So start heating up those glues, please.
The plan is to try to attach a special protective cast that will be fastened to Hugo's underside using cable ties.
Operation Hoist Glap is well underway. We've got Robin underneath looking like a mechanic. We've got the whole team there making sure that Hugo's okay, that the straps are in place and they're not giving way.
I feel like a sea turtle.
This is definitely not something that happens every single day.
All right, start heating up the adhesive. All right, buddy.
But in order for the cast to be fitted, vet Robin must work quickly to secure key anchor points in place.
I need you underneath here because I'm going to hold and you're going to glue. The faster we can do this, the better.
The team is anxious to make sure 73-year-old Hugo doesn't become stressed and are racing the clock to get him back on firm ground as quickly as possible.
You happy?
I'm just concerned about the adhesive giving way. If we can get the adhesive to work, it's just a little cold.
Yeah.
We would pick the coldest morning of the year to do something that needs adhesive. Adhesive doesn't like to stick in cold weather.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on, bud.
All right. Is this the 90-second one, Luke?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yours coming off?
Yeah, it's coming off. Damn it. The longer he's up, the more dangerous it is, and it's just not sticking. I think it's going to come off.
Yeah.
You need something that sticks instantly.
This is taking so much time. Robin is holding on the plate and the glue just isn't sticking. We've brought in a hairdryer to try and set it a little bit quicker, but it's taking way too long for my liking. We're panicking a little bit because it's dangerous for everyone the longer he is up there.
False advertising. It's not 90-second glue.
With Hugo suspended just centimetres above them, Vet Robin and the team are trying to attach a special protective plate over his cracked shell.
We have to do this really quickly. The clock's ticking and it's touch and go at the moment.
But because of the cold temperature, the adhesive they're using is refusing to stick.
Oh, your other one's come off.
It's the coldest morning of the year and the glue just won't stick. The longer Hugo is up in the air, it's dangerous for everyone. So we need to act fast and get him back down to the ground.
We can do. Anybody got any ideas? Silicone?
Can we hair dry them a bit more?
But won't heat loosen the glue?
With tensions running high, Keeper Haley's worried the nerves are getting to everyone.
I hope he doesn't do a poo.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking the exact same thing. I am definitely in the firing line.
I'll get it straight in the face.
No, I'm pretty sure it's aimed at me, Haley. And his head is above me, his tail is below me, right in the firing line if he decides to have a bowel movement. See, like that little bit right there is dry.
Yeah.
So when all of it gets that way,
then I'll let go.
Then we'll let go. All right, sweetheart. All right, all right.
Hey, buddy. It's all right. It's all right.
We got just a few more minutes.
The longer Hugo is up off the ground, the more stressed he's become. He's been such a good boy, but he's now starting to flail his legs a little bit. I noticed a little bit of dribble coming out of his mouth. I don't like it at all. I want him back down on the ground.
All right, sweetie, we'll let you down in a second, I promise.
Time is running out, so the team makes one last attempt to secure the plate.
Where do you want it? Up there? I'll hold it. You got glue on it?
Yep.
If the four corners stay, I think we're okay.
And finally, some positive signs.
Mine is sticking so far.
Is it better now, Kat?
Yeah, it's getting there, for sure. Getting out?
Yeah.
Robin's finally told us that she's happy with the glue and that we can bring Hugo down. It can't come soon enough. I want Hugo's 4 feet solid on the ground.
Yep, just gonna keep my hand on here until I have to let go. It was a bit dicey to begin with, but it seems to be sticking. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that the glue does its job, our plate stays in place, and it's just a big relief to have that off our plates.
No.
He says, oh, I found my carrot, I'm happy.
You deserve a box of carrots.
And nobody is more relieved than Haley.
Good boy, Hugo. You did so well up there. I feel so relieved. A huge weight has been lifted from my shoulders because Hugo is finally back on the ground, and the first thing he did was start eating grass, which makes me so happy because he's not stressed and it was a success.
Good boy. So proud of you. Yeah, we are. So proud of you.
Such a beautiful boy.
At the Australian Reptile Park, Keeper Haley is now extra vigilant with her favourite boy Hugo.
Oh, nearly got me. It's up to us over the next few months to just watch him like a hawk and make sure he doesn't start climbing on top of rocks again.
This big boy doesn't do anything in a hurry, and Vet Robin says that includes healing.
Because that area is in an area that's going to be traumatized, the plate should help, but it could take up to 4 years for that to completely heal. So hopefully it will heal faster, but we'll just see how it goes.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
It's Jenny, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I
I'll
knew
shake
you-
your hand, but I've got my hands full at the moment.
I can see that.
It's great that you're here because we really can do with some extra help.
When everyone imagines the Great Barrier Reef up here, they think of this really fertile area that's full of coral and surely full of food. But for turtles, after Cyclone Yasi came through, all that seagrass that turtles normally eat got covered in silt. It's died off, and for turtles, there's no food anymore.
Survival for these turtles depends on rehabilitation centres like this one, which is funded entirely by donations.
It's really sad to see it because they're such an incredible animal. I mean, these animals have survived millions of years, and now with what's happening, they're starving and they're dying in huge numbers.
Do we know where this one's coming from?
This one's coming down from Port Douglas.
Yep. Jenny and the team here are already at full capacity, but it's a measure of how significant the problem is. They've got another turtle coming in right now. It just never seems to end. Oh, slappy, are you? Huh? A bit feisty.
She's feisty.
I think she got a tag.
She has. I'll just check the number.
So K47.
Chris took her out. I went, oh no, this is Nellie. What are you doing back in here?
Those little papillomas, they look like little warts almost. What we do know about these fibro papillomas is that they're caused by stress. If they're out there and there's not enough food and they start to starve, the immune system crashes and these lumps just take over their body. If she's got these on the outside, then there is going to be a risk that she actually has them internally as well, isn't there?
Yes, and that's the problem. If they have them internally, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do for them.
The only way of knowing whether Nellie has any of these fibrobapillomas inside of her is with a CT scan. Now, not many vet clinics around here have them, but thankfully, there's an imaging centre, a human one, that might just fit Nellie in. Go on, go. You're coming with me.
Chris is now transporting Nellie to the Cairns Diagnostic Imaging Centre. The CT scan is being donated free of charge.
It's a big moment, isn't it? All right, there's no fingers crossed in there. Or flippers crossed.
When we take this image of Nellie, if we find fibrobapillomas inside of her, then the sad fact is she doesn't have a future. What we're looking for here are any little lumps on any of those intestines or any other internal organs like the liver. If we see lumps, it's a very bad sign. Our liver looks good, intestinal walls are nice and smooth, spleen up here is great. It looks pretty good.
So you're happy?
It looks like it should.
That's great.
Just like the textbooks.
It's good news for Nellie.
Yeah. Really the only issue with Nellie right now are these external lumps, and the great thing about those is we can cut those off.
The operation will be performed at the Marlin Coast Veterinary Hospital. It will be a delicate procedure.
You're right, Nellie. We'll just check your breathing. You're going okay. Good girl.
This is local anaesthetic, so we'll inject this underneath the lumps.
Papillomaviruses, they actually grow big, and what happens is their joints become immovable. So it really is a very important operation that's been done today.
Chris is using an electronic current to burn off the tumours. The electrocauterisation helps minimise any bleeding.
Key here is just to be a little bit speedy, but be precise, because the first sign of distress, it's over.
All right, now, last one, that's it.
Well done, girl.
Pretty happy with that, Jen. You've got a pretty good range of movement now, and meant to have 20 off. That's going to make a pretty big difference.
It will make a huge difference to her, actually. That's great. Good girl. When you think this is a wild animal, and she's come in, she's been operated on, she's just done really, really well.
I know.
Yeah, look, there's lumpy. Huh? Look at that. You reckon? Look pretty good to me. I'm going to let you go home with Jen now. I heard you're renowned for liking squid.
Nellie, the green turtle that was found starving to death on a beach, is recovering from the surgery to remove her tumours.
You like it, huh? Well, we've got a bit more. We just can't get enough, and that's a really great sign. There's no doubt that these turtles have the odds stacked right against them, but thankfully rescue centres like this do exist. You just have to believe that you can make a difference, and Nellie should be the perfect example of that, in the way that she came in such a bad way. But hopefully in a few months' time, she does get released back to the wild, and that should be where she stays.
Tim Faulkner has been called away from the Australian Reptile Park to witness an exciting event.
G'day.
Hey, Tim.
How are ya?
Good. Great you come to Monopole.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's a busy time here. We've got turtles galore, so we're at the moment nesting and hatching turtles. Judging by all of our visitors that we get here, we get people that come back over and over again, so I think Tim's going to think it's a pretty special place.
Where are we going to head?
I reckon we'll go up north.
Yeah?
And have a bit of patrol.
Okay.
Yeah?
This was an opportunity that was too good to pass up. Loggerheads in the wild face a lot of threats. There's longline fishing. There's plastic objects, bags and hard bits of plastic they swallow and kill them.
It's a very good incubating beach. We get really good hatchling success.
Yep.
And most of the turtles come up into that first grassed area to lay their eggs.
Oh, do they? So they're not going up over the top?
No, loggerheads usually stay on this bottom,
It's not long before Tim spots a tantalising clue about what's going to happen.
An eggshell. A little turtle's hatched from that. That's tangible evidence that there are babies under here. I haven't seen any signs of life yet, but I know they're here.
Now it's a waiting game.
The sun needs to drop. We sit tight, wait for a turtle to walk up on the beach, or little turtles to scurry down the beach. Either way, I'm excited.
Wow, you can see the line here. This
Okay,
is our
so we got a track.
Yeah, exciting.
At Monrepo Beach in Queensland, Tim and Ranger Kathy are seeing the first signs that egg-laying loggerhead turtles are nearby.
If you look at the flipper marks, you can see they're across like this from each other. So that's a loggerhead turtle. They come up the beach using their front
So you
flippers.
can identify the species by the tracks?
Yeah.
All we need to do now is follow those tracks and we find a turtle. Hey, look at this. Look to the left. Look at that. That's a loggerhead?
That is a loggerhead turtle.
That's exactly what we're after. First time I've ever seen it this close. This is a loggerhead turtle, and it's pretty easy to see why they have that name. Their head is huge, and those flippers that are so designed for swimming turn into shovels.
So she's moving all 4 flippers. She digs about an arm length down, and it's about 2 handspans wide at the bottom, comes up to about 1 at the top.
We picture turtles being these slow, cruisy creatures, but you're talking 15 minutes to dig a hole, not 15 hours.
No, that's right.
It's a quick process. She's finished the hole, and then she rests her flipper up, and you can just sense that something's about to happen. 1 egg drops, 2 egg drops, 3, 4, 5, and soon enough, there's 20 to 30 eggs in the bottom of that chamber.
So we'll see if she's got tags, then we'll know if she's been here before.
It's an awesome spectacle that attracts visitors from around the world. But Tim and Kathy are here to carry out vital research.
Yeah, so she has got a tag, so we know that she's been here before. She's done a couple of breeding seasons.
Yep.
So yeah, it's great to see her back for another one.
Wonderful. Now we know who she is, it's time to have a look at the rest of the body. Okay.
What did we get?
99.
9.8, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, average for our loggerhead girls.
Now the mum has to make sure her precious eggs are protected from predators.
So you can see all this sand she's dug out, so she's going to fill in over her nest, so it's nice and safe.
She's laid her eggs, the job's done, and now she's making her way back to the ocean, and pretty quick too.
But there's still a long night ahead, and Tim is desperately hoping the timing is right to see the next stage in the life of these extraordinary turtles.
What's happening there?
Oh look, Tim, we're in luck.
Look at that. Holy moly.
Oh look, Tim, there's hatchlings here.
Oh, look at that.
See the sand bubbling a little bit? With all this rain, we've got a bit of a hard surface, so we'll just loosen it up a bit.
On Monrepo Beach in Bundaberg, it's time for a new generation of endangered loggerhead turtles to start arriving.
We should see the sand start to bubble soon. Little heads appear.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Wow.
Holy moly.
A female laid her eggs in this spot 60 days ago, and now the babies are starting to emerge.
Tonight, watching those females lay their eggs and the hatchlings pop their little heads up, it's a full cycle, and it's truly amazing. I do some special things in my job, but tonight, being here just about tops it. Here they come. A whole lot are just about to hit me. What a sight. How they tickle.
They do tickle.
They're everywhere. There's so many of them, and they want out. They want in the ocean. They're almost at the water.
Just about there. Here we go. He's coming.
Wow, that was brilliant. Hey?
These tiny babies now face a tough battle for survival.
Less than 1 in 1,000 of these little hatchlings will make it to be an adult, and they're off.
It's hoped that at least some of the females in this group will reach maturity and one day return to Monrepo Beach to lay their own eggs. and start the cycle all over again.
I have never quite seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be said, 50% of the world's loggerhead population breeds here, and that's because of the work you guys are doing. I mean, you've been here 20 years, so you're a big part of that, and good on you.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
Now, I've got to ask, is Nellie still here?
She's next door. Go and have a look.
Right here?
Right there.
It's my girl. Looks good, Jen.
She looks great, doesn't she?
Chris met Nellie on his last visit to Cairns.
She's put on about 8 kilos since you last saw her.
Back then, her body was under siege from a debilitating virus.
Fibro papillomas can be such a problem for turtles that they can essentially kill them. The problem with Nellie was that they were covering all around her flippers, which meant she couldn't swim, and she was no chance of being released in that situation. Well done, girl. You know what's amazing?
It is.
All those lumps that were just everywhere, they're all gone.
I know. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's not like we're seeing a couple of lumps still lingering. They're all gone.
I know.
So that's a combination of the surgery, but also that vaccine.
Also the vaccine, yeah. The surgery and the vaccine together, and all her lumps are gone. It's fantastic. What happens is that the tumours are taken off the animal and a vaccine's made up with the tumours from her body. With this vaccine, this is the first trial that's been done in Australia, and it's actually worked.
So she's an Australian first?
She's an Australian first.
Wow. So really without the surgery and probably most importantly without the vaccine, she would have died?
She would have died.
Wow.
Out in the wild, she would have died.
Hey, Jen, I need a hand.
What's the problem?
We just got a turtle. I think that it's been hit by a boat.
Oh, okay. I'll come out and have a look.
You want a hand?
Yeah, Chris, could you come out and have a look too?
Suddenly, an emergency patient arrives. This turtle appears to have been carved up by a motorboat.
Got 2 big wounds there. No, she's alive. Where was she found?
Yorkeys Beach, just in the bay.
Wow, see, this one's moving when she breathes. So that's deep. I mean, her lungs are sitting right underneath here. So if they're forcing these little fragments up, then that cut must go the whole way through to her lungs. There's a little graze in the top of the head too, which I'd say, I think she's ducked her head in there. I think it's a propeller. So the boat's come along, the propeller's cut in there as it's been rotating. It's gone whack, whack. These wounds look really dramatic, and they are. They're quite deep. And if they were just, say, another inch further forward, they would have taken off her head.
Lucky to be alive.
Very, very lucky. Just here? Yeah. I mean, this is the one that worries me a lot.
Because it's down so close to her lung.
Yeah. Underneath those wounds are her lungs. So for those to be damaged would be absolutely catastrophic. This one's really deep here, but this wound here almost has a bit of scar tissue in the middle of it. So this may not actually be a new injury. It could be something that's happened a week or 2 ago, and she's just been struggling to survive out there and eventually floated in close enough to shore where she's been found, so very lucky. So what I want to do, Jen, is just dribble some saline in along here.
Chris is now testing for lung damage.
When she breathes, if that bubbles, and what that's showing is that there's air leaking out of her lungs. It's leaking out the sides of the cracks, but there's enough in there that if there was any sort of leak of the lungs, it'd be bubbling out. It's not.
Very lucky turtle.
So that's a good start, but it is just a start because the worry is that even though the lung isn't punctured, these gashes are going deep enough that they're exposing the organs. We know that because each time she breathes, the flap lifts up. So it's touching the lungs. What I'd like to do is really clean it up. Hey, it's all right. This might just sting a little bit. The unfortunate thing really is that cracks in shells heal a lot slower than cracks in bone. So there's a reason I'm using so many antiseptic washes, so many antibiotic creams and antibiotic injections, and that's because infection is the #1 worry here. It's the last thing we have to do. Yeah, didn't like that. You got me. You got me a good one. You know the other problem with you? You don't have a name yet. So I was thinking, propeller, there's an Ella in propeller. If you're okay with that, is that gonna work? Ella? Yeah? What do you think? Is that a yes? While it was unlucky for her to be hit by a boat when she came up for a breath, she was certainly lucky to be found floating close to shore on what is quite a busy beach. And then to come in here, hopefully things are turning around for her. You gonna splash me? Is that what we've come to? Come on.
Ella will now recuperate at the centre, and Jenny has come up with a special thank you for Chris.
How would you like to have a nice trip over to a tropical island and spend a day over there when we're actually going to release 2 healthy turtles over there?
You might be talking my language now.
Great.
Jenny's propositioned me to a night on Fitzroy Island. Turtles, of course, are involved. But it's actually quite nice that I've seen so much of sick turtles now to actually see a turtle at the other end of the journey where they're being released. The happy part. It's going to be a nice change. I don't think there's ever a bad day to be on a tropical island, but this one looks like a pretty good one. Here they are, with an extra passenger, of course. I should have known.
Oh, hi, Chris, you made it. That's great.
Who is in here?
This is little Mickey, ready to be released tomorrow.
You're ready to go now, aren't you, Mick? Yeah.
Next day, Chris meets up with Jenny for a 45-minute ferry trip out to Fitzroy Island. On the island is a new 5-star resort for sick and injured turtles that need to be rehabilitated before being released.
The owner of Fitzroy Island offered us some land over there. We're only in stage 1 at the moment, but we've still got 4 turtles over there. It's great. We can increase the numbers, we can increase the amount of tanks, and so when we do get these mass strandings, we'll be able to take up to another 20 turtles.
I woke you up, didn't I? You're an island man now. Come on. It's all right. You're ready to go now, aren't you? Actually, we're taking you on the journey, don't worry. You don't need to swim. Thank you. Wow, look at this place. It's a perfect place for rehab, isn't it? If they want to rest up.
I know. Why would you want to leave?
So this is the turtle resort.
This is the turtle resort on Fitzroy Island.
Chris is about to find out he has a special link with one of the resort guests.
Who's this in here?
This is CB.
CB?
Yes. He's named after you.
Really?
He's named after you.
That's an incredible hindrance on him the rest of his life, to be named after me. It'll hold him back. Trust me. Hello, buddy.
CB entered the rehab centre after being found starving to death in a local harbour. Now he's ready for release.
He's very feisty. Well done.
Okay. Oh, jeez. This is what a healthy turtle looks like, right? He is so overflowing with energy, and this is a really great sign that he's ready to be released. So where's this going to go?
So we'll stick that right there.
CB has been chosen to be fitted with a satellite tracker to provide valuable research data.
Why do you scrub his head?
Just to get all the algae off it. He's got to look good to go out there.
Is this a matchmaking service or a rehab centre? This is...
Bit of both here.
Well, clearly.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Feeling less like a vet and more like a beauty therapist with every minute that passes. I mean, we've had dermabrasion, some exfoliation. Any minute now I'm expecting a layer of varnish to be put on as well. It's some cleansing, and then all of a sudden there's filling going on. It does look good, buddy.
Hopefully we can just keep him still for a while.
All of this work that's going into what looks like beautifying CB's shell has a really important role, and that's to make sure this satellite tracker sticks on and stays on. It's like your own little backpack. That satellite tracker certainly looks big, but the reality is out in the ocean, the buoyancy of the water means it won't actually weigh anything. You won't even notice it's there.
Next step's the fiberglass?
It's just like putting a fin on a surfboard. I don't want to tell you how the last fin I put on a surfboard went. It didn't last for... How long do you want for this one? A year?
A year. Yeah, Chris, a year would be very good, actually.
It lasted about a month, but this looks like a slightly better job. All right. That looks pretty good to me.
There's no air pockets?
No.
Job done.
With all that work done, we can now look forward to tomorrow and CB and Mickey getting released. Yeah. You know what? It's your last night in rehab. Tomorrow you go back home. Just don't act up tonight, all right? Because remember, with this tracker, I'm watching you. Yeah? This CB's all rested up. Let's hope the other one's the same.
It's a big day for Chris and the team from the Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre.
You're going to go today back out into the ocean. It's good.
The finishing touches have been done to CB, including a coat of anti-fouling paint to stop algae and marine organisms attaching to his shell.
Oh, wow. You guys haven't been here all night, have you?
Yes. All night preparing him.
You are looking prepped and ready for takeoff, let me tell you. It's a flash job on your back.
He's definitely ready to go. There's no doubt about that.
If there wasn't already enough excitement around the release, the fact that CB has this tracker means we're going to know exactly where he is. So he's from Mackay. Is he going to head back there? Who knows?
Do you want to just check the tracker before we go, Chris?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Just got to wait for the satellite to go across before it beeps.
Oh, that was one.
Yeah.
So it is working?
It is working.
Wow.
So he's ready to go. It's a great feeling because it means that you've done your job. It means that, you know, all the volunteers that have helped and everybody get these animals well, it's able to go back into the ocean.
Jenny isn't the only one excited by today's release.
The words got round and everybody on the island will actually be down for the release today.
Look, they've got a few friends, Jenny.
Yeah, they have, haven't they?
Jeez, popular. There's months and sometimes even over a year of hard work that goes in to providing this moment. And sometimes you don't even know they're going to make it through. But today, everyone gets their reward. The time's come now.
Mickey is the first turtle to head back into the ocean.
Ready? Off you go, all right? Good luck, mate. It's all yours, mate. The ocean's yours, mate. What a perfect swim. It was just graceful. And that's exactly what you want. Away it goes. It's been a long road, buddy. The rest of your life out here. We'll keep in touch, all right, with this.
Now it's CB's turn. With his tracker, he'll be providing important information.
You get out there, come on.
There you go. Well done.
Look at you. Are those little tears in your eyes? Well done. Congratulations.
Thanks for your help. Thanks for your help.
They're out in the really big pool now.
It's great to see him out there.